How's it going, laser bursters up? I'll be Sixkilla and welcome back to Ever 17. Now, we've just finished hearing the story about how Sarah and you met and how Sarah joined Yu's hacker club at her high school. Let's continue, shall we? With that long story finally over, we all stretched. Well, we finished eating. What do you say? Should we head back to the conference room? Sure. Tsugumi hadn't eaten, but there was no point in waiting around for her. We took her sandwich back to the conference room. I'm gonna step out for a bit. Huh? Where to? Oh, just a little walk. Hey, you keep poking your nose into girls' privacy, and she just might start disliking you. You shrugged and patted me on the head. So what about me? Sorry, Mayor, but I think I'll go alone. Okay. I'm sorry, I'll be right back. You shot the dejected Sarah a smile as she headed quickly toward the door. Hey, I don't care where you go, but if something happens, you come right back. You shot Takeshi a thumbs up on the way out of the door. She was on the way to the conference room. I looked up at the ceiling. What's that? I thought I'd seen something for a second, and when I'd done a double take, I didn't see anything. Hey, what's wrong? Even with Takeshi calling out to me, I couldn't tear my eyes from the ceiling. I wonder. I don't know what it is, but I swear I saw something. Saw something like what? Well, I didn't really see it. I just have a bad feeling about the second floor, somewhere. What the heck are you talking about? I think we should check that floor one more time. Saying that, Takeshi slapped me on the shoulder. Suddenly I came back to myself. Don't worry about it. If something's up, Sora would warn us about it, right? Yeah, you're right, but still. Looks like I'm not the only one who's tired. Yeah. I wonder if that's really all it was. I tried to remember what I'd seen while I was walking. It was like waking up after a dream and having the dream slip away. I couldn't remember it. I fucking hate when that happens. I get that all the time. I'm like, oh my god, I'm having such an amazing dream, and then I wake up and I'm like, I gotta tell somebody about this. I don't remember any of it. It's very frustrating. When we returned to the conference room, Tsugumi was there. And to our surprise, she was eating. Oh. Oh my. The reason we were all so surprised was because Tsugumi was eating a hot dog. She stole the hot dogs! Oh, Takeshi's gonna be pissed. What? You thief. What are you so mad about? Tsugumi was indifferent. That just served to fuel Takeshi's fury. I thought everyone was sick of chicken sandwiches, and here I was gonna make... And you... Just calm down. I tried to calm him down, but Tsugumi just continued to munch on her hot dog without a care. I think that's pretty selfish of you to keep them all to yourself. You selfish pig. I hope you get fat like a whale and drown in the Mariana Trench, you hog. Fuck, that's brutal. All to myself? Tsugumi polished off the last bite and turned to face Takeshi as she wiped her hands. I'm not sure what you're talking about. This is the only one I ate. What? When I looked, there was enough for everyone. And now they're all gone. And a soon-to-be fat stomach of yours. Well, I didn't really count how many there were. Maybe the rats got them. You pathetic liar, the only rat here is you. Takeshi's fury only grew while Tsugumi stayed calm. She brushed away the hair from her forehead and stood up quietly. I'll ask you one more time. Why are you so mad? I told you it's because you ate everyone's food. And I told you this was all I ate. And besides, Tsugumi glared at Takeshi. Are you sure that it's the real reason you're angry? What? What are you talking about? You sure it wasn't just because it threw off your schedule? Schedule? Well, yeah, because the hot dogs that I wanted everyone to eat are gone now. Tsugumi stared unflinchingly at Takeshi. The two glared at each other. Dude, you're never gonna win against her. Sarah and I were in no position to step in between the two. All we could do is watch to see what happens. And then that... Suddenly, a low metallic sound reverberated throughout the installation. It was a dull, muffled sound. What was that? This whole place just shook. A little. The two turned their attention to the new situation, forgetting their fight. Hey kid, what was that? I don't know. Hey, this doesn't have anything to do with that bad feeling you had earlier, does it? I shook my head. I don't know. Maybe you should ask Sora. Did you call for me? Sora appeared in the air out of nowhere and descended in front of us. Oh, Sora. Hey, Sora, where were you? I'm terribly sorry, I overslept. Sora looked embarrassed. Overslept, but you're... Nah, we'll save that for later. Hey, did something just happen? There was an awful noise just now. One of the shafts that supports this floor has started to warp. We didn't see any signs of it yesterday. Yes, well, it wasn't in my calculations. It appears as if the ocean currents may have influenced this outcome. How dangerous are we talking about here? Well, it should be within the margin of error, but... No, wait a second. There is an anomaly in one of the pressure-regulated pipelines at Whitestock's warehouse. What are pressure-regulating pipes? These pipelines are responsible for adjusting the pressure inside the multi-layered bulkheads comprising Lamu. If any of them should rupture, for whatever reason, I am incapable of repairing them. The anomaly is only slight, but you shouldn't have to hurry. But I think it's best if someone goes to check on it. Would you please go for me? Sure, leave it to me. Takeshi nodded right away. I guess that's that then. What? I couldn't quite make out what Tsugumi had said, then... I'll go too. She unexpectedly volunteered for the task. Tsugumi? What, you got a problem with me tagging along? No, that's not it. It's just... You've never wanted to help before? Don't get me wrong. We've got a situation on our hands, so you and I will have to call a truce. Well, if we're gonna fix something, we'll need tools, right? I know my way around a workshop. Alright, let's go. I'll help too. Okay, you can come too, Sarah. So, what happened with you anyway? She's not back yet. I wonder if she didn't notice the shaking just now. Maybe she's sabotaging the place. There's no way she could have missed that. Do you know where she is? I'm sorry, unfortunately right now some of the sensors are out of order. I can't scan the whole complex. I wonder what happened to you. Hey kid, will you go look for Naku? Huh? Me? Yeah, I'm a little worried about her. I was also worried about Sarah and everyone going off suddenly like that. An extra set of hands couldn't hurt. Takeshi, I'll go have a look around for you. Alright, it's in your hands then, kid. If something should happen, use the MMIH to contact me. Alright, see you later. I ran through the corridor, kicking up spray as I went. You? Hey, you! That's a funny thing to say. It was strange. I thought that maybe she wasn't on that floor. Just then, Sora's voice came to me from the voice converter. Kid, it's me, Sora. I know where you is. She's fine, of course. Huh? Where is she? It's Whitestock, in the security office. Security office? Why is she there again? I don't know. You contacted me with her whereabouts. I got it. Well, I'll go to the warehouse as well then. No, that'll not be necessary. Why not? Fortunately, to the extent that I've been able to investigate, there was no major damage. Sora added that there were enough people to do the required work. It'd be better for you to go to Yu's location. So where you is? Yeah, something strange there. Strange? I can't say for sure, but I sense something. I think that someone should go and investigate. Wouldn't it be better if you went instead of me? If something was strange, I don't know what I could do. I'm sorry, unfortunately, now I must go to the control room. Control room? Is something else wrong? No, I have to do a little maintenance on MMIH. I see. I'm sorry, but do you think you can manage it for me? Sure, I don't have anything better to do. I'm off to check on you. The security office, right? Yes, thank you. Is she sabotaging the place? She's acting very strangely. I climbed to the second floor via the emergency stairs. I called to you via the intercom on the side of the security office door. You, it's me. Can I come in? Huh? Kid? After a bit, the door opened. What's up? What are you doing here? I was unable to hide her surprise. You was unable to hide her surprise. Sora was right. Strange might have been the right word for it. Sora told me to come. Sora? Yeah, she said that something was strange and that she wanted me to take a look. I couldn't think of a better way to put it and blurted out the truth. Is this a bad time? You slumped her shoulders as if defeated and heaved out a sigh. Oh well, I guess that's how it goes. If you think about it, Sora has ears everywhere. Well, quit standing there, come on in. Alright. You want some coffee? Hell yeah. I followed you into the room. It smelled like hot coffee. In the corner of the room was an ancient siphon coffee machine percolating up dark liquid. You offered me a chair and I sat down. She turned to the coffee maker to pour coffee. Did she sneak off just so she could make coffee? What are you up to in here? I asked you this bluntly as I leaned back in the chair. I'm looking into something. Looking into something? White steam curled in the air from where she was pouring the coffee. Is this something that you have to hide from everyone? I thought I came out a little too accusatory. Maybe I was a little peeved that she was hiding something from us. Here's your coffee. She turned back toward me with a white cup in each hand. She handed one to me. It's hot, so be careful. Oh, thanks. A white cup, white steam. Only the liquid inside was black. Lemu's logo was printed on the cup. Well, where should I start? You sat down next to me and took a sip of her coffee. Then she gradually started to talk. I told you before, right? About why I got this job at Lemu? I'm looking for clues about my father who disappeared. I nodded. He went missing 17 years ago, and I came hoping to find a hint as to why. You said the last place he was seen was in Lemu, right? Oh, are you investigating that? Yes. You nodded and shifted the cup to her other hand. Information about my father. Surely Sora would have information about it. Him? It was 17 years ago. They say there was a big accident here. Accident? I don't really know that much about it. Even looking at old news clippings, I wasn't able to gather much information. What do you mean? The cause of the accident, specific damage, what happened afterwards, all the coverage was vague. I figured that the media really didn't know the details about what happened either. Somebody or something powerful clamped down on information. Oh, that's interesting. An accident 17 years ago, shrouded in mystery. And my father that disappeared 17 years ago. He worked here until right before the accident. I can guess about some of what happened from what we already know. You think that the accident had something to do with the disappearance of your father? That's right. I thought that here, that in MMIH, there would be some trace. That's why I came here. But since I started working, I haven't had any time to look into it. I couldn't even get close to MMIH's database. I guess it makes sense. I was pretty naive. Your chair squeaked as you slumped back into it. She just stared at the ceiling. But you know what? Opportunity knocked. Opportunity? You don't mean this accident? Yep. You placed the cup next to the console. Now I have access to MMIH. Thanks to the accident, I've been able to get a step closer to my goal. And we're also a step closer to dying. I suppose it's also put my life in danger, but... You joked as she shrugged her shoulders. I'll ask you one more time. Did you have to keep it all a secret? That's a toughie. I mean, I work here, but I don't have any authority. It's just a part-time gig. Taking advantage of this accident to gain access to secret information in Lemu. Normally you might call this a kind of looting, maybe? That's right, stealing information. It's a pretty decent crime. But I suppose there was no way I could have kept it hidden. Sora knows everything that goes on related to MMIH. Surely Sarah would help you steal the information. She's the world's best hacker, right? Just get her to break in and steal all the information. And she's your best friend, right? I think she would understand your situation if you explained it to her. You growled as she put the cup to her lips. I wonder about that. I too took a sip of coffee. It was super bitter and super thick. So, did you find anything out? That's the problem. Saying that, you started manipulating the keyboard. One of the monitors on the wall shifted from footage of an observation camera to an image of a computer desktop. In the middle of it, one window was open. You explained as she stared at the screen. This is the authorization screen to connect to the network. Authorization screen? This is where the system accesses the user for a proper authorization. I see. I feel like I kind of got it, but not really. I'm attempting to connect to MMIH's sea level, meaning I'm trying to access classified information. But if anyone could easily access important data, it would be a security disaster, right? Okay. That's why there's a screen where the computer asks, hey, who's trying to look at this? As she spoke, you used the mouse to click on the box for name. Inside the box was written the words Yuki Tanaka. Of course, there's no way I can access this system using my name, so I'm using someone else's name to get me in. But anyone might try to think that, right? I suppose so. Obviously, the people who programmed this aren't stupid, So to prevent false authorizations, they have methods to check people's identity. The screen then says, if you really are Yuki Tanaka, please show me your password. Are you really taking 2 minutes to explain to me usernames and passwords? Anyway, you then used the mouse to circle around the box for password. It was still blank. And what about the password? I'm working on that right now. Well, you don't know it. I don't know it. So you haven't looked up anything yet? It's not that I haven't been able to. I haven't been able to get in. So you're stuck. Yep, stuck. You nodded and gave a big sigh. After a second's pause, you was back tapping on the keyboard. There was nothing for me to do. I just sat there watching you to do her thing. Password blank. Filled in as she typed. The digits she typed were blocked out by asterisks so that anybody watching would know what the word was. You tapped the enter key. Access denied, invalid name or password. So you immediately tapped in another line of letters. Access denied, invalid name or password. Wouldn't it be better having a program to just try and brute force it? Hey Gary. What? I was just wondering, who is Yuki Tanaka? Looking at the name, I was wondering, is she a relative or something? She's my mum. Your mum worked here? Works. She is working here, as in the present tense. Hey, your mum researches archaeology, right? You said something about it yesterday, I think. Yeah, so what? You answered, her eyes still glued at the computer. But archaeology has nothing to do with theme parks, right? My thoughts exactly. But I figured that Lemieux could probably offer her a lot more money than some small university research department with next to no budget. Is Lemieux doing some kind of archaeological research? Well, at least it's pretending to. It seems like they're doing a survey related to the ruins of the Lemurian continent. Near the end of the 20th century, some oceanic ruins were discovered near Okinawa, right? Lieblich Pharmaceuticals spread rumors that these ruins somehow were evidence of the existence of Lemuria. They poured loads of cash into the archaeological survey of the seafloor. I have no idea what the company is up to. Your mum's involved in that project too? Apparently, but I don't know the details. But I think it's all just an act. I think she's just taking the money and researching something else. Something else? I told you yesterday, didn't I? The ancient idea of the third eye. Your mum sounds tricky. Well, she is. Still, I think I understand how she feels. Even if they dug up all the ocean floors of the world, there'd be still no way that they would find the ruins of the Lemurian continent. Everyone knows it's a complete waste of time. Even the higher-ups at Lieblich Pharmaceutical probably know. But they still have to go about pretending to do research. I wonder why, it seems like a waste to me. Who knows? But it's a company we're talking about, so I bet it has something to do with money. But there's no way for us to know, and I don't really care. Oh, that's right. I've been meaning to ask you, but what do you mean that your mum is researching the third eye? In a nutshell, it basically means that any dimension may only be understood n may only be understood in its entirety when viewed from a dimension at least n+1. Huh? Didn't sound very basic to me. What do you mean? Essentially, only by gaining a sense of the fourth dimension can we really have a full sense of the whole of what is going on around us. That makes sense. I had no idea what she was talking about. Like when the third eye is opened up or something. Yu's hand stopped typing there for an instant and she popped her neck loudly. She reached out for her cup and took a sip of coffee. I think yesterday you said something about evolution? About losing that organ thingy on the head, No, not there. It's here, and it's called the third eye, and it has to do with supernatural powers. It's like the third eye on the forehead of the Hindu god Shiva. Like they say in yoga about Agya Chakra, or the third eye chakra. Or the astral light training by sages. Or like the esoteric Buddhism with the famous monk Kobo Daishi's ascetic training. And invoking of the Kokuzo deity of space through the Kokuzo Gumonjiho. Like the all-knowing eye in Tibetan Tantric Buddhism. Felt like I was being bombarded with exotic words. The conversation had completely left me behind. I think I mentioned it yesterday, but when the third eye opens, true wisdom is apparent, and all becomes visible, at least That's what they say. That is, if the story's real. So let's see, that means, in summary, it goes something like this. Your mum is researching an ancient concept called the third eye, or third perspective, and once someone has acquired the third eye, they can sense the fourth dimension and see the whole of the world. And that is in line with the legend of the third eye? Does that about cover it? Well, to hear my mum tell it, the third eye and third perspective are the same. I don't quite get it. Why would a sense of the fourth dimension allow someone to understand the whole world? Well, why is the sense of the fourth dimension necessary? We're seeing the world the way we are right now. I don't get the connection between the third eye and the third perspective and the fourth dimension. There were a lot of things I didn't get. The whole concept seemed to be beyond my understanding. Alright, break's over. You started working again without answering my question. Hey you! Sorry, let's make that the end of today's lecture. The explanation from here is pretty hard. And it's pretty obvious I'm busy, right? If you really want to know, next time I'll explain it in an easy to swallow way. You didn't say anything more? Okay. I decided to give up for the time being. I remembered I was still holding the cup. I figured not drinking it down would be a waste, so I drank it down. Ugh, it's so bitter. And it's completely cold too. Makes me think of that, oh, there was a TED Ed talk by, is it Matt Parker? The mathematician guy, talking about fourth dimension objects. It's fascinating, fascinating, you should go look at it. Oh, I give up. You muttered this and looked down dejectedly. She leaned back in the chair and it squeaked. In the end, she hadn't found any new clues. Actually, she hadn't even gotten past the authorization screen. Access denied, invalid name or password. That message had been displayed again and again. It still sat in the middle of the screen. Oh, you was really down. So you couldn't get it? The password? Nope. Don't you have any ideas? Like what? I mean, when somebody sets a password, it's usually a word that has something to do with them. A birthday, a phone number, or for something short. Even somebody that wanted to think of something nobody would know would probably come up with a phrase related to their past. I mean, there's almost nobody that uses a meaningless combination of numbers and letters. If they did, they'd probably forget it. And if they forgot it, then the password is meaningless. I know that. I tried all the things I could think of. Did you try your name? I tried them backwards as an anagram, all possible patterns I could imagine. But it's no good. I'm just a normal person when it comes to computers. I'm no hacker or cracker, I don't have any illegal programs, and can't just type one out right now. You stuck your hands up in the air signaling your surrender. I know, Sarah could probably do it, right? I remember that Sarah was a top level hacker. You said that Sarah took first prize in some code breaking contest, right? I'll bet she'll make a password breaking program for you. Maybe. You didn't seem keen on the idea. Why don't you ask her? I could, but I don't want to. I don't want to involve her in this. I thought that maybe she was still concerned about the criminal element of the idea. But you don't mind getting me involved? Well, you came and involved yourself. I suppose. But at this rate, you probably won't find a clue during her lifetime. I wanted to help her out. As a way of thanking her for helping me. Then there's just one clue. You took a piece of paper from atop the console. What's that? This is inside my mum's machine. I sneaked into her research room before coming here. Okay. I was looking for clues about my father, of course. When I went in, I saw that her computer was on. Looking at it, I saw that there was a text file entitled Password. That's not a safe way to store your passwords. When I opened it, there was only one line. There's some Japanese sentence typed inside it. Then you saw the password. Sure, I saw it, but I don't remember it. What? I was in a hurry. You must remember some of it. I tried to take a note of it before I was found out, but I didn't see a pen or anything around. And there were no discs or anything that I could copy it to. Thinking about it now, I should have sent it to myself by email. But I was in a rush and I didn't think about it then. Suddenly I thought that I'd try to print it out. As soon as it stopped printing, my mum came back. I snatched the paper that was in the tray and jammed it in my pocket. Huh? What do you mean? So the paper you have on you now is the one with the password on it. You held out the paper without saying anything. Huh? What's this? A barcode? Looks like it, but it seems different than normal barcodes. It's got 10 lines. Yep. What does it have to do with anything? Who knows? About how many characters were in that password? You said it was in Japanese, right? About how many characters was it? I don't remember very well. Maybe 10 characters, give or take? That's very long. Was it all written in Japanese? Any numbers? I'm pretty sure it was just Japanese. I don't remember any numbers or anything. I wonder which end of this is the top. You got me. Of course, it could be written vertically. Or could it be written vertically? No way. If you printed out a text file, why would it come out as a barcode? Who knows? No hints? Hints? If I don't know the answer, how can I give you a hint? But you have to remember something, right? Like, did it have to do with food or a person's name? You shook your head and spoke. I saw it, but only for a second. But how could you forget something so important? Well, at least I know my address, and phone number, and birthday, and my social security number, and I even know my name. Now who's forgetting the important things? I looked again at the paper we thought contained the password. I was obsessed with solving the puzzle that we'd found. It was frustrating. Now who's forgetting the important things? What could I say to that? Is it like I wanted to lose my memory? Watch this, I'll remember everything just to show you. But first I had to figure this out. I had my mind set on it. I almost felt like solving this was a rite of passage that would help restore my memory. It looks like, spread out letters. Like, it's just been spread out. I'm gonna try, I got it. Could it be? I thought for a second. Tilt it, yeah. What if we tilt it? I thought that if I tilted it a little, I might be able to see something. Tilt it almost completely vertically. I got it. Listen, if you take the paper and set it like this... What? Let's see. The empty full sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. What is this? What? Let me see that. You grabbed a slip of paper from my hand. Then she copied me and set the paper sideways in the same way. You're right. Amazing, kid. You're amazing. You grabbed my hand and shook it happily. But she didn't stop there. She pulled me in close for a big bear hug. Squeeze. My face was pressed against her. It was a nice fit. A little too nice. I struggled for air. I give up. Mercy. I almost felt dangerously excited by the softness of her. We did it, yeah. Dora the Explorer. Finally, you let me go. She jumped around gleefully like a rabbit. I was glad she was happy, even if she did almost crush me. Watching you all happy like that seemed to wash away all my irritation and fatigue. The stress I was feeling simply faded away. It was like the winter frost melting away under the spring sun. I get it now. You can see it from right above it. But if you look from the side, I see it now. But why do you suppose it came out in a barcode like this? The printer is probably in bad shape. I don't think that's a very good excuse. Think so? It's hard to believe this would make it print like this. I don't care about that now. Anyway, so long as I have the password, things are fine. The empty full sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. You think this is a variation of the famous haiku, The Empty June Sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me by Shiki Masaoka? So if I input it like this... Wow. Alright, let's try this for the password. I'll recharge you, face the screen triumphantly, but... Okay then. Tap. But she still can't get into the sea level information. Just then... What in the... The screen went black. What just happened? I don't know, but it looks like it automatically shut down the authorization screen. Huh? After a moment, the screen returned to normal. You pecked away at the keyboard, calling up the authorization screen again. Access denied. Currently, this name cannot be logged in. What? What is this? She tried it again. The result was the same. What does this mean? Maybe I entered the wrong password too many times and it activated some kind of protection? In other words, MMIH was completely denied access to my mum's name. So we'll have to give up for the time being, I guess. You shrugged exaggeratedly. And you went to so much trouble to read this for me, kid. But from the start, there was no guarantee that what was on the paper is the password. It would make more sense if this was some kind of hint that my mum uses to remember the password. It wouldn't make much sense to call the file password, otherwise it would be too dangerous. I pondered why Yu's mum would choose this poem. I wondered what was hidden inside the 17 syllables of this poem. There was no answer or end to my questions. A while after that, we heard from Takeshi that repairs on the warehouse had been completed with no problems. We finally gathered again in the conference room. We were killing time. We still couldn't think of any way to escape. Still, we didn't want to feel like we were completely wasting our time, so we decided to wander around Lamu one more time. As we made our rounds, Takeshi said, "What do you think the record is for running from the one end of Lamu to the other? I think we should try give the chicken sandwiches a completely new flavour somehow." He made a number of stupid comments. We all, with the exception of Tsugumi of course, listened half exasperated and half interested. We all knew, as long as we were doing something, it kept our minds off things we couldn't change. Like about how there was no way out, or remembering where we were. Alright, we better wrap this one up because we are super duper out of time. I'm kind of annoyed that we actually figured out the puzzle there to figure out what the password was, and we still didn't get to see any information on the computer. Well, next time hopefully. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.